Well, a really big entrance there from Chad Sugden. A huge reception. I wouldn't have got a word in edgeways if I tried. And I think we're going to hear some big noise. Chad's brought a really big crowd with him. Chad from Newark, too slick, Sugden. Managed and trained by his dad. He's now 9-1-0. The one loss was earlier in his career in a 6-rounder. And he's learned from it. 4 wins by KO. Former glory. You know, K1 kickboxing background. But what an opponent. He was supposed to be fighting for the area title against Seb from DCT in Nottingham. But there was a cut sustained from in the camp during Seb's camp. And I know both lads were gutted about it, so we've now got Blackledge in. It's a really big fight for Chad to be taking. Luke Blackledge, 26 wins, 9 KOs, and only 6 losses and 2 draws. What a calibre this guy comes in with. He's fought Callum Smith for the British super middleweight title. He's won the Commonwealth and defended it against Ishmael, against Les Markham, against Liam Cameron. You know, he's also the WBC Silver International Challenge title belt holder. You know, I'm going over my words. The amount of Commonwealth titles and silver titles and area titles that this guy's fought for and won. He's fought Rocky Fielding earlier on in his career. Just looking down my list now, there's just name after name after name. So it's a big fight for Chad to have taken. That's a big test of character. I know Chad personally, and he does not shy away from a fight. He's been all the way around the world in training camps and fights. And he's looking to make his mark in the professional boxing game, and taking an opponent like this early in your career, it says a lot about your ambitions. Scheduled for 8 rounds. It's quite a fast start. Oh, some lovely counters there. Blackledge comes in with some shots. And Chad slips him down the middle in between. Oh, nice uppercut thrown there from Blackledge. We can hear him. It's really Blackledge throwing those shots with real meaning. Chad nice and calm, blocking with his arms. We're in for a nice, exciting fight here in Chad and Luke Blackledge. End of round 1. A nice pace there, fast-paced start. Both lads go back to the corner. In the corner there for Chad, we've got Dean Sugden. Dean Sugden was a world kickboxing champion. Both from Newark, got their own gym. Brother Bailey fights in the Glory. His other brother Regis Sugden is also a professional boxer, formerly from an MMA background. Can you imagine living in that house, a family of fighters? I wonder what they have for breakfast. Bricks. Blackledge's corner looking very confident. Not much being said. Just a nice steady rest. And this is where the experience comes in. Blackledge has had over 30 fights at a high level. And he looks charged. Trying to take the centre of the ring immediately, but Chad muscles him back. Some taunting from the crowd there. We can hear Chad's crowd giving Blackledge some stick. Both lads trying to take the centre. A nice sneaky left uppercut thrown there from Blackledge. Some cheeky shoving there from Blackledge. That's oh! A check hook straight off the break has wobbled. It was a flash knockdown, but the legs went from under him there. Luke Blackledge shocked. It was as soon as there was a break called, he stepped back and oh, lovely body shots. 2 big body shots. Chad's took some confidence there. Seen a knockdown that early in an 8-round fight. The crowd are excited here. Sweat's flying off both lads' heads already. And look at this, toe-to-toe trading. Blackledge taking the centre again. Trying to hit the jab, and a nice clubbing right hand there from Chad Sugden. Dean shouting from the corner, giving instructions. We're hearing codes from the corner there. JC2, I think it was said. So there's some sort of code for combinations for Chad Sugden. Blackledge's corner quiet, not too much being said, just looking on, taking everything in. But what a fight so far. Only in the 2nd round we've had a knockdown, with 6 more rounds to go. Blackledge using experienced tactics, but Chad not letting him get away with it. Blocking, countering, uppercutting, grabbing the back of the head. Oh, a nice right hand landed for Blackledge. I tell you what, you can hear the crowd in the background. This is an exciting fight. It's got the crowd really excited. There's a bit of electricity in the crowd. There's a large Sugden crowd out there. Again, both fighters a very good pace for an 8-round fight. They've started as if it's a 4-rounder. What do you make of that so far, David?
I thought it was a funny old round, to be fair. I thought kind of swung both ways.
We saw a flash knockdown. It was just a cheeky hook on the way out of a clinch. We heard break, he broke, but I don't think Blackledge expected that. Do you think it's going to play a part in the fight?
I did actually think Sugden was going to pile the pressure on, but he didn't really seem to make much difference because it kind of went the other way.
I think with it being an 8-rounder, Chad being experienced in other fight styles, he knows not to get too carried away, but Blackledge just come back, hasn't he?
Yes, no, that's right. But they're both going for it though. Yeah, it's making itself out to be a really good fight.
If this goes 8 rounds, the crowd will have got every bit of their money's worth. I mean, both lads throwing with intention, and what a pace. We're only 2.5 rounds in, with over 5 rounds to go.
It seems there's definitely been an invasion from Newark tonight.
Well, we'll see. Both lads trading in close. Oh, Blackledge with the uppercut in the middle there. Chad using that shoulder to lean down on the neck of Blackledge. The crowd are on their feet. They can smell blood almost. I think they're hungry for another knockdown. Will we see it? As the referee's shouting break, Blackledge still pushing forward slightly, trying to take the centre. Chad using his experience there, not letting the clinch get on top of him. Oh, 3 nice shots landed there. 2 to the body, 1 to the head. And a gum shield's come out from Blackledge. Is this a tactic with the experience? He might get a few boos here. Chad looking to the corner, getting a few pieces of advice. Oh, a clubbing right hand landed there. Not cleanly, but it certainly will have woken Chad up a little bit. 2 big body hooks there from Chad as a response. What a fight. Both fighters making Kev, the referee there in the ring, work for his money tonight. Oh, lovely looping hooks landed there by Chad again. Blackledge trying to come down the middle. I spotted Joade in the background there, stood up watching on. Former world champion. What do you make of this fight so far?
I think Chad's in control, you know, he's doing boxing really well. He's not really in any kind of trouble. I think he's outboxing him quite comfortably. Just got to keep it long, keep boxing him, because this guy looks really tough, and he's going to be coming all night, I think. Yeah,
Blackledge, we've said earlier, he's ranked 9th in the country on BoxRec. He's fought for so many Commonwealth titles and won, defended them. Chad Sugden's come from a different sport. He's 9 wins, 4 KOs and 1 loss. But what a statement to come out in an 8-rounder against someone with that sort of calibre. We've got the WBC belt badge on the shorts of Luke Blackledge there.
Oh.
Both fighters trading.
Yeah.
Do you think this is going to go 8 rounds?
Yeah, I think he looks very tough. You know, like I say, it's a very good learning fight for him. I think it'll bring him on in leaps and bounds. He needs somebody like this that's going to take him 8 rounds and show him what it's really like and how you have to dig in. And I think, it looks like it's going to be a points job. He looks very tough and a very decent, competent fighter.
Well, I know Chad, he comes from the Sugden family. They've got really good sponsorship. They've got every kind of care you can think of in camp. Oxygen training, oxygen tanks being dropped off at the gym in Newark. But he'll be fit for the 8, you know. I'm sure Luke Blackledge will draw on his experience as well. There was just a flash knockdown earlier, a bit of a check hook off the end of the break. I thought it might affect him, but it looked like it, you know, hasn't phased him at all and he's back in the game, Luke.
Yeah, I think I missed the knockdown. I turned around and next minute he was on the floor. I thought, wow. But yeah, he looks like it didn't really affect him that much. If anything, he came back stronger in the second round. Was the second round? Next round, yeah.
I mean, you're a man with experience at a high level. You were here fighting for your world title many moons ago. Not too many though. You know, Chad's got a really big crowd here, and Luke Blackledge came in, I don't know, 3-4 weeks ago, because this was supposed to be a 10-rounder for the area title against Sebastian from DCT, and Blackledge stepped in because he already trained for a fight. The home crowd, you know, he sold over 200 tickets, Chad.
Wow.
When you fought here, how much does that crowd out?
I think it's brilliant. When I boxed here 5-6 times. I won my world title here. I defended my world title here, and the crowd I had was amazing. When the fight gets tough, the crowd really G you on and bring you on, and help you take it to the next level, you know, and push. And I'm sure his crowd are going to really be rooting for him. It's a really nice, noisy crowd that we're getting behind him.
Yeah,
I think he'll build his confidence in a big way.
He's from Newark. He's a Newark boy, and I think his crowd are giving Luke Blackledge a little bit of stick here and there. So far then, how are you scoring it roughly? This is the 4 rounds gone.
Yeah, I know the lads from Newark, they live the boxing, you know. I've got a few friends down there, Asian Pickering and a few others that usually come and they have a big support whenever they box. So yeah, I think the crowd are going to be loving it and they're going to really get in behind him.
I think we've seen a couple of good fights tonight, seen some well executed, quite one-way fights, you know, some learning fights, some one-way fights. I think we saw Kyle Hughes fight against the Brown Eagle, Jordan, earlier. That was fairly even, but this fight seems to be a step up, a step above, and I think the crowd is certainly getting their money's worth out of this fight alone.
Yeah, I think you get that in all fights. You know, you'll get different levels. You'll get guys that are making the debut. You can't rush them and come in with the tough fights. You have to give them learning fights, and sometimes it can be like one way. But then guys like Chad, you need him to be brought on with better, tougher fights. And this is a perfect fight for him, I think, to take him on to bigger and better things.
Well, we saw Eko Esemu, who's next on the bill, English champion at welterweight. He brought Tyrone Nurse here. Tyrone Nurse, former British and Commonwealth champion. And Eko, you know, he had a really big amateur career, but he decided, you know, we're going to fight Tyrone Nurse to defend this belt in my hometown. Tyrone being far more experienced and from a higher level. And like you said, there are always in boxing some learning fights, some easy fights, some hard fights, and everyone makes mistakes. You know, recently I fought in a sort of grudge match. I lost years ago to somebody. I learned a lot from it, went on to win some fights, and then I fought him again, and luckily, you know, the experience had paid off. Whether you win or lose, you've got to test yourself, haven't you?
Definitely. I think that's what it's all about. Like you said, it's all about a learning curve, you know. Tyron's a very good, tough fighter. I used to go down to Dewsbury and train with Tyron, and when he was a little kid. His father was part managing me at the time, and he's been involved in boxing a long time.
Oh, we're seeing some wobbly legs here. Both boys have been caught, and you can hear the noise. Both lads have been caught. The sneaky uppercuts from Blackledge and the looping hooks from Chad.
That was a great spot from both boxers, yeah. They both took some shots, came back, and he did look a bit wobbly, but he looks okay, he's come back from it.
I think the crowd are certainly spurring this fight, and I think both lads can hear the noise and they can feel the electricity, and I think that's sort of spurring them on to want to go for it a bit more.
Definitely, I think every time the crowd used to scream and shout, it used to bring me on proper, you know. If I was hurt, if I was tired, I'd get that second win, I'd come back from it and try even harder just for the crowd, yeah.
A nice uppercut landed there from Chad, a jab, and an uppercut from the right hand. Nice and cheeky, scoring points. Blackledge drawing on his experience there, you know, leaning, pushing the fighter back, taking the centre of the ring again, look.
No, I think Chad's got a really nice, relaxed style. Hands are a little bit low, but he's got some beautiful body shots when he makes the guy miss, body and head, and he throws some nice, sharp, fast combinations. And the uppercut's a lovely punch that he's got, definitely, yeah.
You know, we're only in the 5th round here. Still 3 rounds after this, and both lads getting clipped, both lads getting softened up. A nice right hand landed there twice by Blackledge. Couldn't quite catch him with the left hook, but he's putting the pressure on, isn't he? Coming towards the end of this round.
He is, he really picked it up there. I think it's becoming a really hard fight. They're both tired now, they're both having to dig in, but it's a great fight,
Wow, 3 more rounds to go. Both lads in the corners, you know, looking like they've been hit a bit. And this is a bit like, you know, for those that are just sort of casual fans, a bit of a rocky fight, you know, both lads going in.
It's a proper fight, it's a give and take. They're both taking shots, they're both coming back with shots. It's a really tough fight for both of them, both lads, but they're putting up a great fight.
I think this certainly classes as a small hall classic. I mean, we've got a good strong crowd here, but yeah, it's certainly lifting the roof, isn't it?
It definitely is. The crowd are loving it. You can see they're getting behind their fighters, and they're being very vocal and really enjoying it. It's a great night of boxing.
Look at this, look, both lads keeping it close quarters, leaning now towards the end rounds. But again, Chad slamming into the body, and those body shots, they start to really hurt towards the end rounds. You know, you've done 8 rounders, 10 rounders. Was it a 12-round fight? Yeah.
As well, yeah.
And those body shots,
they take a lot out of you, and later on in the fight, it drains you, takes all your energy and strength away. A lot of people don't focus on the body shots, but they do. They're very effective. And Chad's got some lovely body shots.
I wonder if Chad's listened to Carl Froch's advice, chopping trees down, you know, working the body like he was telling Mayweather in that famous interview.
I think that's a perfect example, yeah. Hit the body and chill like a tree and chop it down slowly, and it'll fall eventually.
Oh, this tree ain't falling, and he's still throwing back, Blackledge. He's stamping his feet, he's using that. He's starting to put the pressure on Chad a bit now. He's moving Chad onto the ropes a little bit more. You know, formerly, Chad was formerly more in control, I think.
I think he's a lot more experienced, Luke, and now it's showing. You know, the longer the fight goes, he's going to come on strong and he's going to test him. I think Luke's probably been...
Oh, a nice pivot there. He's tried Chad there, pivoting off the ropes, but Luke wouldn't let him. He cut him off again. But a chopping left hook to Chad, but Chad shakes it off. He's got quite a low right hand, hasn't he?
I think Chad looks a little tired. Sometimes you go through a stage in a fight, round 6, 7, as you probably know, until you get your second win, where you've got to really dig in and be strong.
Well, I know when I fought for the International Challenge Belt title a long time ago against Evelio Boyanov, I'd hit him to the head the whole fight.
Yeah.
And my hand was broke in round 4, and the adrenaline kept me going. Round 7, I clipped him to the body, and he went down like a sack of spuds. I thought, why have I wasted all this time hitting him to the head?
It's crazy. Until you get the experience, you don't realise the body is sometimes easier to hurt a person in the body than it is to the head. The head is really, really hard. People don't understand, and it can break your hand and everything. But I think he needs to keep working the body. Yeah, this guy looks very tough.
I mean, I'm still swaying towards Chad. I don't think it's a one-way fight, but I do think Chad's comfortably, you know, nicking around, slightly busier, especially not that last round, but all the rounds he's had the. He's sort of dictated the pace. He's pushed him back. He's used the ring well. We saw Blackledge there starting to move Chad back a little bit, but Chad's still busy.
No, definitely. I think Chad won a lot of the early rounds. That might be the first one that he might have gone to Luke. He was pressing and he was really working him, and he made it quite hard. But that might have taken a lot more out of Luke. So we'll have to see how they go in the next round.
I feel like it was a fairly even round. I could understand if they gave it to Luke, but I do still feel that Chad did enough. You know, being the home corner, being busier in the fight, busy. He's just throwing those 3s, 4s, and 5s, whereas Blackledge seems to be throwing, like, you know, convincing shots, but not as many of them.
Yeah. I think he's pressing, but he's not working as much. Chad's still in control. He's still outboxing him, but he's just getting a little bit harder now. Yeah.
We've got Blackledge starting to work the body now, haven't we? He's no mug.
I think Chad's standing around a bit longer now. He's a bit tired, so he's not moving as well as he was early on. And that's where Luke's going to benefit if he stands there on the ropes.
If you keep your eye out in the corner, you'll see Chad, which is, Dean, who's Chad's father, is his manager and trainer. Keep your ears out. He's using some sort of code. I heard him saying J4C or something earlier, but they're very methodical.
I think a lot of boxers and coaches have a repertoire. They have.
Oh, we saw Blackledge.
Lovely turn.
We saw Blackledge turn away there slightly, and Chad had just slightly out of distance. If it had been a step forward, he could have thrown a right hand there.
Good little body shot there, yeah. I think Luke's put a lot into the last round and a half, and I think it's showing now. He's slowing down a bit. Chad's just got to get back on his boxing. He can't stand and fight him.
I think Luke's 28 and Chad's 25, so fairly similar age. And again, a big statement if Chad wins this, which, providing nothing bad happens now, I think he's got it. He's just got to stay busy and not get hit too hard to the head. Oh! Just as I was saying that. Chad's put him through the ropes. Oh, we're going to see it again. Blackledge looks a little bit shocked there. He looks hurt to the body.
It does look like the body shots are affecting him a little.
And there's not a lot in his punches now, Blackledge.
No, he's definitely slowing down.
Oh, his legs are going. Look at his knees.
Chad looks a bit stronger now again. Chad looks like he's getting back in control. I think he's got his second win now and he's starting to take control of the fight again.
For me, Chad's got to stay on him now to put him down a little bit, because if you give him too much time to recover, he will come back. He's hurt.
Yeah. As you know, the later rounds, the last bit of the round is when what judges look for, and it looks good for a champion as well for the future.
Well, Chad looking, he's still got a spring in his step. He's sort of hit a second win, like you said. It looks to me a little bit like Luke's been let off the hook there a little bit.
Yeah.
He's survived, he's got through it, but
he's holding a little bit more now as well.
What a punch to have landed. What a round there. A massive round of applause for both fighters. You can hear the noise in the background. And we're coming to the 8th and final round.
I think Luke might have given everything in the last couple of rounds to try to change the fight. Unfortunately, Chad's took it, he's come back, and it looks like he's getting back in control. And I think he's going to have a good finish in the last round.
Yeah, I think we saw in round 6, he had a real go at it. And, put Chad on the back foot. And then towards the end of that round 7 there, Chad's hurt him, had him through the ropes. So I think it's hard to say. Will Chad come flying out? Will Blackledge come flying out? Everyone's on the edge of their seats.
I think he needs to come back. He needs to come and stamp his authority in this last round and show them what he's made of, really, and finish strong.
Look, Blackledge using every second of that corner round.
I think in the last round I used to always want to stand up first and mentally beat the opponent, and that's what Chad done. He got up first, and Luke must have seen him and thinking, oh no, I don't want none of this, but he's got to get in there now.
The first thing he did was both lock horns. Chad on his toes, look, moving. That's that sort of K1. Oh! Oh! What a flurry of shots! Body shot, head shot, body shot. Blackledge not relenting though. What a statement.
That was a great combination from Chad. A beautiful start to the last round. Luke took it really, really well, and he's still there.
You can see people standing up now in the crowd. Sweat dripping and flying off both fighters' heads. Both these lads are really putting it in. Oh, a slick left up there from the inside there, or from Chad.
Both fighters are landing good shots now, and it's becoming it's all about who's got the biggest heart now. And there's like, oh!
Big body shots again from Chad. Oh! A lovely uppercut landed by Chad Sugden. And again, an uppercut. That uppercut's really getting through. Blackledge looks a little bit tired. Still throwing.
Yeah, that uppercut's worked really well for Chad. And I think he needs to work off that and throw some more combinations again.
You can see the raw passion from Dean Sugden in the corner. Scott Caleb Promotions have put on another banging fight tonight. You know, we've seen it more and more in Nottingham now. These shows are growing in popularity, and these Nottingham lads are putting boxing back on the map.
Definitely, he's doing a really good job with these small horse shows, getting the fighters some exposure and experience, and I think they're going to get better and better.
Well, we've got boxing news on the right hand side of us, and he's writing, he's scribbling away. I think this will get a very good write-up.
Yeah, the boxing news is very important. They need to give us a good write-up. Oh, the bell, I think. You haven't heard the bell.
You can see the media, look at them on the side there, getting some great shots. Both these lads laying it down, putting their hearts and souls into this fight.
The crowd's all standing up. I think they're loving this fight. They're really getting involved now, and
unless anything really bad happens now, I think it's a convincing win for Chad. But what a great performance from both fighters.
Definitely, it's a great fight for Chad. I think he'll learn a lot from this fight, and it'll help him in the future, definitely.
And I'm talking as if, you know, that it's in the bag. But Blackledge, he's not disgraced himself. He's still landing some big shots now. Look at this, absolute warfare. Go on, boys. And that is the bell. 8 rounds of amazing work. You can hear the crowd.
Great fight, that was a great fight, you know, it was like a small hole, great fight, you know, brilliant.
Well, this is all down to the judges. Blackledge got his hands up there, maybe he thinks he's won. I think it's just a tactic. We've got to be very quick here because Chad's just had 8 rounds of absolute action. That was a massive statement. What an opponent to have taken on, and a massive statement made tonight. How do you feel? Apart from tired.
Yeah, I feel tired, mate, but I certainly got a bit. I can dig deep in there. Do you know what I mean? It was a fucking hard fight. I had to step up in them last 2 rounds. That's what my coaches said, and I did to make it more convincing. But Luke Blackledge is not here to fall over. He's looking to come back in the mix, and I can tell that by the way he fought. So fair play to him. But I was a better man today.
You had an amazing fight. There was a couple of rounds where he really came at you. I think it was round 6 and 7 maybe, and that round 8 was unbelievable with 2 knockdowns, one of which put him through the ropes. An amazing fight. Well done. You represented Newark, yourself and your family. An amazing achievement. Well done.
Thank you very much, Steve.